Well, welcome to this tutorial once again, just learning on how to build and develop a table using HTML. Take your seat, stay put as I direct this lesson for this moment. Now we have been given this table. We are supposed to translate this into a web page where we have a table for a student, and we have this is serial number, the student name, we have the admission number, and the course the student is now pursuing. We will endeavor to expand our knowledge on this area. So how do we go about this? Because we need to use our text editor, and then we also need to use the browser to be able to show what we are seeing here. So let's go, let's try and do the building now. So we will want to do that immediately after this list. We are going to have a paragraph, and this paragraph we want to call it student data, and we just want to close that paragraph like that. Once you do that, if you refresh your page just to see whether we have it, yes, we have it down here. So we want to have a table, and in tables you will have to use what they call a keyword table. Is known by the browser. I want you to know that a table is simply a combination of rows and columns. Rows are the ones that run horizontally, and then columns are the ones that run vertically. So how do you do that? Then of course your table will have headers. So you use this table keyword just like that, and I want to close it, a closed tag, so I would want to close it there like this. Then I would want to now introduce, actually the main thing that you use here are rows, and then in your definition of rows you'll have the columns coming on board. So now let's do that very quickly, and this is what we are going to do. Table row, we want to define the header of the table so that our data appears like this. This table has got 1, 2, 3, 4, so there are 4 columns, and we are saying table row, and then table header is defined like this. So the first one is serial number, so serial number like that, and then you close that table header like that. We open another table header, TH stands for table header, and this time it is student student name, and we want to close that table header. Yeah, actually if you type in lowercase and uppercase, all of them, there's no problem. HTML does not, or rather is not case sensitive as such, but we prefer lower case. So we are going to have this as a table row, not table row but table header again, and then we are going to type admission, just like I've shown you here. It will look like this. So admin number, close that table header, and then we want to use this and say we have another table header, and this time round we are going to call it fees. Is it? No, it's course. Then you close your table header. Yes, table header closed here, and then we now close our table row to mark the end of that particular row. So we close it like that. But ideally you can just, for aesthetic and make your code look clean and nice, you can break it like that. So when I save this, then I come to the browser, then I do that. Realize that the table does not show here. because you know every other day browsers have been upgrading. So to be able to capture that, we would need to introduce something here on the table and give it some attributes and say border. We want to have a border, and the border is equals to 1, like that. And let's see what happens. We have so many attributes we can use. Yes, now that is how your table looks like down here. You can make it span across, so probably would want to say the width of this table, width of the table, that is right width is equals to, we quote this because it's going to be having a character which is not what, a number. So you quote it, and when I refresh, my table should have now spanned the entire distance like that. So that is the table header. If I wanted to change maybe the color here, I would come to this table header, the table row, and maybe say BG color, and I give it some color, maybe sky blue. I don't know if that is nice color for us, and we see if that is going to happen for us here. Just like that, you have the first table header appearing in that manner. So let's enter this other data for the 4 persons that we have. The first one should be Mark, not Mark Kimani. So how do you then define that? Just below here, after the first table row, you define another table row like this. Then inside it, we are going to define what we call table data. Table data. This one will now be in column 1, row 1, table data, and we say 1, and then we close this table data. Yes, I told you we can make it look nice. Actually, I want to, there's no difference if it continued, right? So you would tell it what happened. So table data again, we have Kimani, Len Capitals, Kimani, Mark Kimani, and then you can say table data is closed there. Then you go down there, and then you bring another thing, and probably you have another data here. Let me just copy this. I'm copying this admission number, and then I'm pasting it there, and then I'm closing my table data like this, and then I'm going to define another table data like that, and that course I was doing is DIT. Then I'm going to close that table data like that, and then I would finish with that table row. If I don't close the table row, it will continue moving without, it will treat it as one anyway. That is what I'm saying. So here, let's refresh just to see whether we have a document. We have already one record entered into the table, and so that is how you will do this work of ensuring that you have data entered. So you use table rows to define the row, and then the table data, and table data here defines your columns. So if I wanted to go to the next one, I would simply do that again. Let me show you that, and then I will now paste the other ones, table data, just like this, and then I'll say 2, then I'll close the table data. Now if I do this without having defined another table row, I will be outside. So table row, and then I will have another table data like this. Let me just define them. Table data like that. I have table data. I'm gonna close it here, table data, and then I have defined the last one, table data, and then close it again, table data, like that. This one is not defined well, so I'm just going to pick my data from here, like this name here, and then I'll come back here and then paste it there, I would want to come here and pick my admission like this, then I paste it there, then I come here again and say this is HRI, that is a course. Then I need to close this table row. So close that table row like that, save it, and let's refresh. We have 2 elements at the moment, so we can as well now go ahead and just copy this. This is when you click on this editor, it is able to display that, so we can be able to copy this and then press enter, paste it there, press another enter, and then you paste it there. Then we change the values, like the third one, we're gonna change it here. I'm gonna change this, change it to 3, change it to 4. I'm gonna copy this and bring it around here again, put it here. This will become like that. The student name, we have to come with it. Okay, so I'm done with element number 4. Let me look at number 3. This is informatics, and then yeah, I'm gonna copy this and then I'll paste it here to have the name of the student. So if I refresh, just like that, I have a table with 4 elements, and that is how you do tables on HTML. And just like that, you are able to move. Table is important, especially when you are presenting data for easy identification. You know, if you want to do analysis, it's very easy to analyze data which is tabular than the one which is just structured data. When I say structured, I mean data that is just textual. Let me use the word textual data. This is very simple. It is attractive to you. So today we've learned how to come up with a table, and we have been able to show how to deal with our table using the table keyword to define the table. Some attributes, we've looked at the border, we've looked at the width. We've also changed the color of the table header, and such kind of knowledge that we have been able to share today. I wish you the very best even as you continue to follow and dig deeper in your learning of HTML. Have a good and great day as you proceed with your learning. Thank you.